Welcome back to American Fisherman. Today we're gonna be putting braid on a bait caster. Let's go. Now, normally if you're gonna put braid or fishing line on a spinning reel, you know that face down, you ain't messing around. Goes like this, off, comes off, and goes onto a spinning reel. Well, baitcaster doesn't spin up and down like this. It spins like this. So, with this upside down, it's going around and then coming in like here. It ain't gonna work. It's got, like I said before, if you haven't seen my other video, you need to go back and take a look at that. Also, if you haven't, please subscribe. Helps out the channel. And like it, share it. That way we get noticed. Anyway, it's got a memory. So you're gonna want this spinning the same way this spins on. So you go forward, it goes this way. All right, rolling it up. So your line is gotta be like this. So what you need to do is, because you can't put it down like this, put it on the table like that, it's gonna be rolling all over the place, on the floor, all over the place, getting dirty on the ground. See how, wow, they got that gummy. Now that's a first. See how the line goes up, right? So it's gonna be coming off the spool like this, which is great. But we gotta figure out a way to keep it in this position without it going all over the place, all over the floor, getting dirty. I mean, it's gonna get dirty regardless, but so my idea is, what you can do is get a box, get a pencil, rod, any kind of thing to make it go through. You gotta find that hole, poke yourself a hole right there. Now this fits just right on the box, but it's too loose. So you make some holes on the side, that line, roll and see how it rolls. Right, it's gonna, of course, it'll be leveled, but as it's rolling this way, your bait caster's rolling this way, it's good to go. See how it fell? We gotta fix that. I'll show you right now. Put the flap of the box on the inside, and I just cut a little hole in the lid, in the flaps here, to hold that pencil. You use whatever you want. I got a pencil on hand, so on there. And there you go. Now the bait caster. This one has no holes. Now, in order to get braid on there, to give the braid something to grip onto, I'm gonna put a little bit of electric tape. Just gonna put a little bit of electric tape on there, and what that does, it's gonna give something for that braid to bite into. You don't want a whole bunch, you want just enough. Kind of make sure it goes on somewhat straight here, but once you get it on there, just straight, just spin it and press with your thumb. Bring your thumb over, make sure press as flat as possible. There you go. Now, doesn't look like it's on there, but you can see, I don't know if you can or not, right there is where it ends, and then again, there's a little space in between, but it's enough to give it a bite for the braid. I'm using this brand here. It's a brand I recommend, not sponsored, but anyway. Then what you do, you find yourself a rod makes things a little easier. So pairing this right here, Cast King, with this right here, Ugly Stick GX2 medium action 6 to 15 pound test line. It's 6 foot, but we're gonna go ahead and pair it to this, see how it looks. Man, that right there just looks like it belongs. You got the black and the red, black and red. It's looking good, looking sharp. All right, let's start getting some of this braid here. £30-pound braid. Run it through the first eye hole. I took the top piece off just to make it a little more easier to handle. If you guys seen my last video, you know that. If not, like I said, go check that one out. Run it through the first eye hole, do the eye of the guide, and then when you come out, this will be the only tricky part, is to get this braid, which I'll just stick it under, and wherever it comes out, just shove it back through. See how it's going out the bottom here? I'll just grab it and then run that braid right up through here, like so. Run some extra braid in here, just like that. Now we'll just give it a little simple tie. This knot here doesn't really matter, as long as it grips. That's really all that matters, because if a fish got you this far, you might as well cut it, or the fish is going to take your everything, rod and reel, your whole setup. That fish done took it. If you got a fish like that, you know, it's you to figure out what to do. Just a simple knot. Hopefully it's tight enough to catch. We'll find out. Cut off the excess. Now we're gonna see right now how this is working. All right. Now braid though, you want to be very careful. It's not like normal fishing line. You squeeze this thing hard while you're reeling in, it's gonna slice through your finger, and you can see it slipping. Now it's catching. Roll it slow at first, but you can see that wheel over there just spinning. It's on that pencil. That's what you want. It goes right off the spool, right onto the spool of your bait caster there. Just take your time. There's no rush. I mean, I do this at home way before I go out to the field, because I ain't wasting my time doing all this on the field. I'm there to fish, you know. Yeah, I had a question from somebody. They asked me, well, if you could only fish with 2 rods, why do you take so many? And I'm gonna go ahead and answer that question on another video. When we get out in the field, I'm gonna make a separate video while I'm there explaining why I have so many rods. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, just take it slow. Don't squeeze this too hard, that braid, because that will, it's like a saw. It'll go right through your bone if you ain't careful. So I'm just taking my time. If you have gloves, you can fly through this process a lot faster, but it's not too bad. the most part, it's going on pretty even. A little more on the left side than the right side, but it's not a big deal. It's just where I started off my knot, I believe. A couple more turns, we'll be done already. Yeah, one more go around. Call that good right there. And since I take off the top half here, I go ahead and just put it back on. I ain't worried about it being straight or nothing right now. That way I kind of measure, from where the tip is to how much extra I need to rig it up, and then go ahead and slice her up, and then just run your braid through the remainder. Wow, to the remainder of the eye holes there. Which, I mean, you could have did it with the whole thing together, but I'm underneath a tree right now, so it just made things a little easier. But if you're out in the field, you ain't got to do this unless you're underneath a tree or a canopy or whatever you brought for the day. But yeah, I like this braid. It's stiff, it's lightweight, and if just straight braid doesn't work out because it's windy or whatever the case may be, I'll throw on some monofilament, tie it right to the braid. And if you guys want to know how I do that, let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and make a video on that, how to add on a leader to your braid. But anyway, that's it. That's how you put braid on a bait caster. All right, see you guys on the next one.